This is right. All right. Welcome. Please rise and join us singing hymn number 118, This Little Light of Mine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world,
Good morning. I'm Sharon Howard, the leader of the social justice team here at the Unitarian Universalists of Sarasota. We are celebrating Kwanzaa today in the midst of a rich holiday season. In the recent weeks, we have celebrated Hanukkah, the winter solstice, and Christmas. And now we stand just days away from a new year. I hope you enjoy our UU Kwanzaa community celebration, and I wish you all a healthy and prosperous 2026. We welcome our visitors, both on campus and those who are joining us via live stream. We invite you to participate in any of our events and to learn more about our congregation and about Unitarian Universalism. Visitors are encouraged to register in our virtual guest book, which you can find through a link on our homepage, on the homepage of our website at uusrq.org. If you are here in person, there is also a visitor sign-up sheet at the welcome table. By signing in, you'll receive our weekly newsletter along with the Zoom links to our virtual events. We also invite everyone to stay after service for coffee and conversation, and we look forward to getting to know one another. Now for announcements. The Rainbow Alliance is meeting today for a party. All are welcome. It starts at 11:45 in the Reeb Room. There are Kwanzaa observances throughout the week. Monday at 5 p.m., the West Coast Black Theater will be observing Umoja. And on Tuesday, the historic Leonard Reed House, and on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m., Nia and Kaumba. And Thursday night at the Leonard Reed House at 2 p.m., They will be celebrating Imani. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our speakers and musicians for today. If you would please stand. Cedric Hameed is a spoken word poet and cultural storyteller whose voice bridges ancestry, presence, and collective healing. Born in Schenectady, New York, and shaped by a family lineage that survived slavery, migration, and reinvention, Cedric's work is rooted in generational alchemy. His paternal ancestry traces back to a freed Yoruba woman from Nigeria and a Quaker man who risked his position to liberate her, a story of courage, sacrifice, and unity that mirrors Cedric's own mission of helping people transform inner fractures into bridges of love, identity, and wholeness. As the son of Azam Hameed and now a father himself, Cedric carries the spiritual inheritance of storytellers, protectors, and visionaries, rooted in love and reflection. His work invites unity across generations and lived experiences. We are grateful to have him and his children here with us today as we honor Kwanzaa and the principle of Umoja. Tyus Hameed is a rising saxophonist and multidimensional young creative whose natural rhythm and soulful sound bring emotion and personality to every performance. Whether making music, competing on the court, or supporting his family's creative work, Tyus embodies focus, confidence, and heart. He performs today in the spirit of Umoja, offering his music as a bridge between generations. Okay. Avi Hameed is a gifted vocalist and guitarist whose warm tone and soulful presence bring depth and meaning to every song. Grounded in sincerity and emotional clarity, her music offers connection and comfort. She joins us in honoring Umoja, using her voice and guitar to gather the community in harmony and shared spirit.
We are one skin, one blood, one breath, one experience, connected through our pain, through our love, our acceptance. Our rear is as real as our shortcomings. Our faith is as strong as our bonds. We break chains, we break cycles. We belong together in isolation, even in distance. There is no separation, only stronger commitments. We are light, reflecting our perspectives through our prisms of our cultures, our hopes, and dreams. We dare to overcome if we dare to believe. We can all achieve the perfect harmony, singing our own melodies, humming the tune of higher frequencies, with the love to find true communities. And we live in each moment together, collectively in unity. To know who we are by ourselves, we must first understand we are one.
As we light the chalice, please join me now in affirming our value of pluralism, which is printed in your order of service and will be displayed on the screen behind me.
All sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect.
Good morning. Today we honor Kwanzaa, a celebration of African American culture, community, and values. We will light the Kinara to reflect the Nguzo Saba, which are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa and their deep resonance with the Unitarian Universalist values. And I just want to share what those values are for you. So, Umoja stands for unity, and that happens on day 1, which is December the 26th. Kujichagulia is for self-determination. Ujima is for collective work and responsibility. Ujama is cooperative economics. Nia is purpose. Kuumba is creativity. And Imani is for faith. So each day, a candle is lit to build upon the principles, one after another. And today, as we light the first 3 candles, we invite its meaning to guide our lives and work in this world. Tyus, would you come up and light the candles for me? So the first candle to be lit is the center candle, the black candle, and it stands for Umoja, which is unity. Yep. First one, the black one. There we go. We honor unity as Unitarian Universalists by nurturing beloved community where every person is valued and we are stronger together than alone. You can light the red one now. Kujichagulia, which is for self-determination. Did you get that one? The first, look at that, there we go. We affirm self-determination through our commitment to the inherent worth and dignity. You might need another one. Don't burn yourself. You have to play the saxophone later. We affirm self-determination through our commitment to the inherent worth and dignity of every person and the freedom to define one's own identity. And the last candle, which is for Ujima, is collective work and responsibility. We live this principle when we share responsibility for one another and we work together to heal injustice and care for our community. So may we work, all of us together, to bring these values every day and into the new year. And I now encourage any children to stay and enjoy this intergenerational celebration, but if you just feel too wiggly, you can join Miss Kristen in the West Wing for free time to play, read a story, or do some art. Thank you. Thank you, Thais.
For our centering in words, the poem Breathing by Cedric Hameed. The stillness between each heartbeat holds 1,000 lifetimes. Eternity lies in each breath. Keep breathing. And now we'll have a moment of silence to reflect on those words. Now we will hear from Thais again.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Don't worry.
All right, good morning, everybody. So you got to give me a second to center myself because I'm more nervous for my children than anything. I'm over there freaking out. But this is such an awesome privilege to be here to speak to you all about such a deep topic that has pretty much embodied me. My understanding of Kwanzaa and how I came to understand it was a deep seed that started when I was a child. And I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey, and I'm so glad that they gave me like a time frame. Otherwise, I'd have you here for 3 days. We don't need that much time. But how I came into meaning of Umoja was before I even understood what religion was. My parents did a great job of keeping my brother and I active when we were younger. And there's a lot of words that have a lot of like mouthfuls, make you stumble a lot. One is Schenectady, New York, where I'm from. And growing up in Schenectady, there was a place called the Art Center that my parents would take us to. And there was a woman who did a really great job at really explaining things to us as children. And she did it first by letting us move and start playing with drums like the djembe. And then she would tell us how each drum had a relationship to it, how each sound had a relationship to it. And then she brought the word Umoja to us, and that word meant unity. And I didn't know how profound that word would not only mean then, but constantly be an evolving theme in my life. So when I was younger also, I started to understand that it seemed to be the most important principle to me, but I could see a lot of division everywhere. First in my family, I grew up Muslim. My dad is the son of a Pentecostal preacher. We didn't have a full understanding of the division then, but you could tell that there wasn't a lot of unity in certain ways growing up. That was so profound because I didn't understand either the full perspective of life and what people went through in life in order to create relationship or community, but also how to find that unity in myself. So in growing through that, it was a hard thing to first grow through as a child, to realize that you're coming from and coming into a life where you're trying to understand things, but also understanding that there's things that are here and things that are past. One of the things that also helped me understand that deeper sense was relationships with some of my grandparents, but also some of their struggles, as well as them talking about things that had passed as well. And for me, it became a struggle of learning how to let things go, as well as like accepting things in that way to understand what being unified really was. Playing basketball was my outlet. I played basketball, obviously I'm pretty tall, but playing basketball was my outlet prior to poetry. It was an emotional outlet, but it was also this way of connecting with different people and understanding different cultures. And before I get any deeper into this, I have to read this definition to you because I have a story to take you on that is part of a journey that we're going to walk on together. But when I was looking for a deeper meaning, again, of how I've embodied a lot of who I've become. It was from so many different experiences and conversations that I had in life. But I want to share this definition of the word Umoja to you. It's the Swahili word meaning unity, but it's not just togetherness in a surface way. Umoja means to strive for and maintain unity in family, community, nation, and race. It's the first and foundational principle of Kwanzaa because without unity, nothing else stands. The deeper meaning of Umoja is a decision to see yourself as part of something larger than ego. It teaches us to see each other as family, protect one another's dignity, build instead of compete, heal instead of divide, remember our shared humanity. It is not passive harmony, it is active relationship. Umoja says, what happens to you happens to me. It is the spiritual remembering that your healing helps mine, your joy lifts mine, your pain is not separate from me. Umoja is collective consciousness in action. Umoja is when a family eats together, a community shows up for a grieving neighbor, a child is raised by more than just their parents. Differences are honored, not feared. People choose love over pride. It's not just a value, it's a practice. Umoja in Kwanzaa's flow is the root. From all of the things, all the other principles grow. Self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. Without Umoja, the rest collapse. I am because we are because I am. Now, I did not fully understand all that when I was a kid. I didn't fully understand most things as a kid, but I knew that at some point in time when I first heard that word, it was such a valuable lesson to hear that we are all connected, not just here as people, but the earth, the things around us connect us, and that sound connects us. Part of the introduction in my book, I talk about what connects us all is our first breath. That took a long time to process and understand that we all breathe, and we all breathe together, whether we think we do or not. And then at the same point in time, it takes a lot to realize that even after we're gone, our energy continues to move on and probably becomes the wind. In that sense, you feel like you're always connected to something, even if you don't realize it. And from that standpoint, it created this journey for me to start to understand that I was dealing with something way larger than myself. Even coming here tonight, I'll get deeper into it because I'm looking at my time, calculating myself. But how I came to embody more so of the emotional part was to become really vulnerable and access my emotions. I told you earlier that my father grew up Muslim. We grew up Muslim. My dad's dad was a Pentecostal preacher. I met him twice in my life. I met him once when I was 5 years old, my brother and I, and we spoke to him for about 20 seconds. He gave us $5, and we ran off and spent it within 5 seconds. After that, I had ideas of who he might have been, but understood that my dad has his own struggles in that way and had his own struggles with him. But I didn't really know too much about it. In 2017, I won a national fellowship for some of the work that I do using poetry. 2018, I go to New York to take a trip up to Nantucket, and my dad is driving me. On his way to drive me up there, he started sending me a bunch of pictures of a gentleman I didn't recognize. And my dad is a jazz musician. He has a bunch of different people that he plays with, and from time to time, he'll put me on the phone with these random people, and I'll say hi to him. So I just figured that he really liked this student a lot. This guy was somebody he liked to play with a lot. And then I finally asked him, who is this guy you keep sending me pictures of? He says, your grandfather. And at that point in time, I was sort of like floored because I don't remember what he looked like, and I definitely didn't remember him looking like how he looked when he showed me pictures. And then what made it even more awkward is that going to win the fellowship, he was on his deathbed, and my dad was like, we need to see him before he dies. At that point in time, I didn't realize how divided I was as a person because I didn't know I had that much emotion stored up towards somebody who I didn't really think I identified with. He couldn't have been any more of a stranger to me at that point in time, but something about his reflection of our characteristics, at least physically, was hitting me, and emotionally I was struggling. And I had a bunch of decisions to make, a bunch of choices to make at that point in time. And the only thing that I was thinking of is I wanted to talk to him about how hard it was, because we didn't have that sense of unity or connection. The broken cycles of not being able to connect with not only myself, but deeper connections with my dad, who was trying to connect deeper with him. All these things wanted to come out and say these things in a matter of hurtful words or rage or anger. And when I went to speak, the only thing I could say was, I release you, I forgive you, I'm your grandson, I love you, I don't want to see you suffer anymore, and I hope you go in peace. I couldn't believe I said it. I couldn't believe those words came out. And I couldn't believe how emotional I was, because as soon as I said that, I'd go right to the bathroom and explode in tears, and I didn't know what was happening. And I couldn't really fully absorb what was going on with a deeper resonance spiritually and emotionally. Because when I fully started to grasp the aspect of why I said that, I realized that I always wanted to be in unity. I realized at that sense that that deeper seed of conversation was hitting me and molding me into something that was overriding even the current moment of what I thought my emotions would be. And it wasn't something that I practiced or rehearsed. It was something that I had felt when I was a child that had continued to keep growing to that moment. And I didn't know how powerful that moment was going to be, or how powerful that moment still is. And I'm going to stop right now, because I will finish that reflection, but I know I have a certain amount of time, and again, I will not keep you here for a week. So I'm going to step off for a second, but I will finish the rest of that reflection in a moment.
In the spirit of Umoja, we remember that none of us gives alone. Each offering, large or small, joins with others to support this beloved community and its work for justice and compassion. Please be as generous as you can for those online or those here on your cell phone. There is a link to donate in the description of the YouTube video, or the QR code in your order of service. Let this sacred time begin.
Peace. Be still. Let me turn down for what may be my only chance to get lost in your gaze. In this moment of eternity, I can see what I've held on to has me stuck in my ways. Pandemic winds have blown away the smoky veil we used to make things go away. And as it clears, all that's left is the mess that we've made. The reminder that we must heal trauma. It doesn't fade, because in the desert of humanity, everyone wants to throw shade. But when I meditate, I elevate into a stratosphere where my tragedies dissipate, into an aroma of triumph that never disintegrates. I inhale until my soul inflates, exhale love with every breath I take. My heart song resonates. I become weightless in this space where dreams regenerate. Here, I have anticipated being emancipated. Certain that I am uncertain, I take steps to be still in this place. No longer will I hesitate. My eyes closed with my third eye wide open. I can see heaven's gates. Falling through my rock bottom to pursue love in the pits of hell for heaven's sake. The flames of life still fight off the shadows of doubt. And for that I say, namaste. I found relief in life's infernos. I found healing in my pain. I found depths in the beauty of my scars. Lost, I found myself again here. My mind swimming through the cosmos. My body deeply rooted in this space. My spirit chasing the universe down a path only God knows. It's sweet like the sound of amazing grace. I rise from the ashes of my demise and disgrace. Biting into the fruits of my labor, I savor the taste. My eyes finally open to see love change the landscape. It inspires me. It's so amazing to me. Beauty is all I see. There's no place I'd rather be. All right, so to continue on with the story, my grandfather, the deathbed, we still have to go on this fellowship trip with my dad, and we go to Nantucket. And at that point in time, I was also dealing with the fact that my wife was pregnant with my third child and was supposed to give birth any day, and I was really second-guessing every choice I made to go to Nantucket because I knew I was going to make it back for the birth if I needed to, so I was like on high alert. And then on top of it, there's also this widespread separation between emotions and spirit that my dad was feeling and I was feeling that we needed to have a conversation about that I didn't know I was ready to have. Neither did he. And in Nantucket, we were staying in this room, and I could tell my dad was really emotional from his experience as well with his father. And literally I was still emotional from a lot of things that I was dealing with from being a child. And we had a moment that I had not seen happen in a movie, TV show, or had a friend who could even give me advice on. And that was my dad and I had a chance to really expose our souls in a way. And in that way, my perspective continued to grow. Because coming from a child's standpoint, you don't really fully understand what it's like to be an adult until you have the experience. And then once you have the experience, you start to realize too that you might be holding on to some things that you don't really need to hold on to anymore. And what my dad and I realized in that room is that we had reached this place as two broken children, still waiting to be healed. And then the notion of that we didn't want to do something to the other or needing to heal together, again, this deeper sense of unity starts to kick in. But then it's more on a micro level that you start to feel it. And the most taboo thing happened for two men in the room, which is we shared our emotions deeply, extremely deeply, to the point where we knew that we didn't want to hurt each other in a way, and that we weren't intentionally trying to hurt each other in a way. And it gave us a chance to move forward, not as father-son, but as two broken boys finding healing. And that was such a freeing experience that it was something that I didn't think was possible. I didn't think it was something that would ever happen, or something I didn't even think that I needed to do, was emote in a way where I could find myself and release myself. And then just when I keep thinking that these things are just a pivotal moment and I can look back on them, they continue to keep evolving, even to present day, even to this moment. Because from that standpoint, I didn't know that paying these seeds actually would come back at some point in time. So we'll fast forward a long period of time. And some of you might have seen me here before. I do work with the Patterson Foundation, with a great organization in town. They brought their work here before, which is A Walk to Respect, which is amazing, written by Beth Duda. And from time to time, we'll go and perform this work in other places across the country. I had done a meditation, and in clearing my mind and doing these things, I got something completely unexpected. I could see in my mind both my maternal and paternal grandfathers, and they were not clearly visible, but they looked different a little bit, and they were in the ethos, and I could see them, and they were like taking like orbs of light and putting it out into the universe, but they were crying at the same time. And I was getting very emotional during this meditation, crying. I was like, what the heck? This is supposed to be, what's going on? Why am I so much? So I didn't want to think about this anymore. But when I started thinking about it, I couldn't get the notion out of my mind that they were pouring out their essence into the universe, but not getting any light back from themselves, from the way that they felt that they lived, or communication from their ancestors. And I thought it was a crazy notion. I just literally just told my wife about it, wrote it off, and was like, wow, I'm not going to meditate for a while. Shortly after that, I get a phone call from Beth Duda at the Patterson Foundation. And she tells me that we got an invitation to do a Walk to Respect, the play that she directed, and I wrote some poetry for. And this time we're going to go to Columbus, Ohio. And I almost dropped the phone because Columbus is where my dad was born, but it's also where his father was born. And it just seemed like this was like a weird joke going on. It was like a prank. I thought she tapped into this meditation to tell me this. My maternal grandfather was born in Florida, so I've actually been in the spaces where he's been in, but I haven't been to Columbus since I was 13 on a family reunion, and it was just really weird that I had this meditation, and all of a sudden we're going back to this paternal birthplace. Not only was that weird, I have a distant cousin who my dad had met through either Ancestry or 23andMe. His name is Kelsey, and he does a lot of genealogy for a number of years, and he's been doing a lot of blood tests. I felt really embarrassed because months before then I was supposed to send him a book, and I completely forgot because my kids steal my brain most of the day. So he also had been to Columbus, told me all this stuff about our family history in Columbus, and next thing I know, I'm landing in Columbus like, oh my God, I forgot to send him the book. This is months ago. So I'm in the middle of texting him. He texts me randomly. And he says, hey, I got some information about your paternal grandfathers are. I know who your great-great-grandfather is. I know where your family line comes from. This is randomly. And I couldn't believe it. I'm literally about to throw my phone because I'm thinking everything is tapped and bugged at this point. So instead of texting him back, I just call him and I just show him a screenshot of the Amazon order of the book I was sending him. And I was like, why did you just start texting me? He's like, man, because I just found out. I'm like, yeah, I get that. But like, did somebody tell you to text me now? He's like, no, I just got this information. I was like, well, I got something to tell you. I'm in Columbus right now. He's like, you are? And I'm like, this is really weird. So what's even more weird about that, and so I called my dad. I'm like, you didn't tell him I was here, right? Like my dad is like, are you on the run? I'm like, no, I'm not in trouble. I just want to know, how did he know this stuff? So my dad's like, no, I didn't tell him. So I go to sleep that night. And after I go to sleep that night, I found some amazing information. We'd be here another hour. I can't do that to you. But after I wake up in the morning, I call my wife. And when I call my wife, she was like, do you know what happened? Did you see what happened last night? I'm like, what happened last night? What else is going on here? She was like, the aurora lights came all the way down to like Texas, and they were in Ohio too. They were all over the place. You didn't see them? I'm like, no, I didn't see those. I was asleep. So I look at some of the local footage and newspapers there, and sure enough, these crimson red lights were all throughout Ohio. And I was like, what are the odds of this happening? So then I look up the meaning of what crimson aurora lights are, and come to find out they're extremely rare lights. And a lot of people culturally believe that it deals with ancestral healing. Yeah, I'm still in that space right now. So as I'm like, this can't be this big of a collective coincidence. This can't be this big of a collective probability. And it took me back to not only the meditation I had, but also the conversation I had with my grandfather on his deathbed, but then also how could I get to that point prior to that? And again, it brings me back to that word Umoja, about unity, and about the fact that I was a very fragmented and separated person that was now finding all this different collective energy that was helping me heal to be a unified person. And at that point in time, it was even more freaking because I didn't understand why that happened, but then it's like, apparently I'm here for some reason. And shortly after I get back, Mary Lou reaches out and says something about a Kwanzaa celebration and about Umoja. At this point in time, I couldn't make up anything to you. I tried to think about how many different times to write this, but I just accepted the fact that I'm more like Forrest Gump than Socrates at this point. And that's fine with me, because if I try to write something to articulate the experience of what I felt, you wouldn't be feeling what I'm saying right now. If I tried to do anything else but embody the energy that I was taught and that I was seated with, I wouldn't be able to have this conversation as clearly as I am right now either. And then from that standpoint, this perspective of conversation brought me to the standpoint of what it means to be not only connected via myself or ancestrally, but also to everything else, is that we're always connected. And it's a choice to be disconnected. And then once you make a choice to be open and be connected to yourself, you're connected to everything else around you. And that is my message literally to you all, is that I've been experiencing the synchronicity of unified love that seemed to be on such an unreachable level that started with a micro level that has extended outward and keeps extending itself every day. Every time that I thought I've reached a plateau or reached a place of I've found it or I've mastered it, another perspective opens and allows me to see more than what I thought was possible. So not only am I grateful for this opportunity to be able here to speak with this coherently with you all, I'm really grateful that you all chose to be present here with me today to actually experience this whole experience with me. So before I sit there and close this out, I would much rather you all take a chance to close your eyes, and we'll all take a collective breath, and we'll all take a collective release, but we're gonna hold that breath for a little bit so you guys can feel your own centering of unifying yourselves. But I'll give you a chance just to feel yourselves for a second. Ready? So we're gonna breathe in with love and exhale with gratitude. Ready? Breathe in. Hold your breath for a second and just release with gratitude. And know that we all felt the same thing just now. Thank you so much.
Do I just start? Okay. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long, so I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long, so I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
Closing words, Triumphant, by Cedric Hameed. If we enlist in ourselves and fight those battles within and triumph with love, we can end wars. Please join me in the closing words that are on the screen behind me as we extinguish the chalice.
Extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.